Yeah, just trying to find a combination of players that that can help break this run that we're on. Right, I think you keep doing the same things, expecting different results. Um, that isn't it. I think obviously we're a little light on the back line. I thought we've given up a lot of goals in the previous three games, and so that was the decision in Beavers. But really, I think it's our ability to score goals, and I'll keep saying that until we can score first and dictate the game from a position of being ahead. There's just a lot of pressure on the defense to maintain zeros.
And speaking of scoring goals, do you feel like you have a player on this roster right now that you can trust to be that player to score first?
That's why we're rotating, and that's why Elijah got a crack tonight. Because I think goal scoring is a streaky thing, and in the first 5 games we haven't been able um, to find that, or and I think that's ultimately it's always a balance, right? You got to find the balance between scoring and defending, and if you find yourself defending, if you can't score the goal, the pressure just keeps mounting, especially when you're on a difficult run like we're on. It becomes difficult. So we'll look at the film, we'll look at the opportunities created, we'll look at the movement off the ball, we'll look at the service, we'll look at all that, and figure out the best way to move forward with the group we have.
Gotcha. And then lastly, for me, I was just kind of curious. You mentioned there, some of the reason for the changes was obviously the 4-0 defeat last week. You put Gavin Beavers then in goal tonight, and unfortunately, he also lets in 4 goals. So how do you kind of approach that? I guess from kind of like what happened tonight, from that perspective, I guess.
Yeah, I think we'll go back and look at the video. Obviously, when you put a young goalkeeper in there, you realize that there's some inexperience in there. But he's been performing well, playing with the under-19s. Had been playing with a lot of confidence, and so we'll see how he rebounds individually. From this performance, and then we'll make the best decision moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will go to Tom Hackett. Your line's open.
Hi, Pablo.
Hey, Tom.
Tom, you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry about that, Pablo. The commentators mentioned that Yassin Savarino stayed home for personal reasons. I'm just wondering if you have any further comment on that situation.
No, I don't. But it's family stuff, that it's personal stuff. So it's been a trying time for him, and hopefully he can join the group here this week.
I understand. Probably going to come across a bit of a weird question. You've done most of the training throughout the off season, and to start the preseason on the indoor turf out there in Herriman. You haven't had many outdoor sessions. I'm one that is not afraid to admit that come wintertime I get seasonally depressed. Do you think just being inside as often as you have been is playing a role on the playing group mentally at the minute?
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Tom. I think these are all variables. And when you're not in a good run of form, I think it all piles on top of each other. We haven't trained outside. It's been gray and snowing every day in Salt Lake. The field today was really, really fast, and on turf it's obviously a lot slower. And so there's a lot of that. But I think those are more, those are supplemental issues that just pile on when you don't get the sunshine and you're not in a good run of form.
And then lastly from me, this isn't your first rodeo. You've been through slumps in the past. As the losses mount, the pressure only mounts. How do you as the manager try and take some of that pressure off the shoulders of the playing group to try and have them perform at their best?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do throughout the week?
No, what I said to the guys was that this is the only way to move is forward, and I think for me, the difficult aspect is what we see in training during the week is really, really good, and it inspires all of us come game day. And I think, again, there's when you're not getting the results, you're a bit more tentative. Your passes aren't sharp. Your decisions aren't quick, and I think that's a byproduct of going through a tough run. But again, for me, it's all about process. It's all about demanding a little bit more in a way where we're all accountable. Again, not just the players, but is there a change of shape? Is there, hopefully we get, Marcelo back this weekend, because again, if you're not scoring goals, you got to be dogged in the defense and weather storms. And so I think the only way to look at it is really from a, forward perspective, and not dwelling on what we could have done differently. Because again, during the week, in the last 4 games, it's been really, really good. So now, how do we take those same performances, those same concepts, and apply them in real time during going through a difficult stretch? And that will be the focus this week.
Cody, I'll move to you. Your line's open. Cody, did you have a question?
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Perfect. Sorry. Hey, Pablo. Obviously a tough loss tonight. What takeaways stick out to you most from the game, and what will you look to address with the team going into the game next weekend?
Well, I think on the defensive side, I think we got in the most trouble when we weren't compact through the middle of the field. I think in the first half, we extended ourselves. And again, I think in training we do a great job of that. I think it's the anxiety of trying to win the game right now that really derails a bit of the game plan defensively. So that will be an area that we look at. I think we did a better job of that in the second half. And then with the ball, we did a really good job in training this week, switching the point of attack. When we were pinned on one side, knowing that the wing back would be tucked in, and I think we only executed that 2 or 3 times. And in order to get that block to really move is to be brave, and we got to switch it. And then the next thing is in transition moments, we look too often for the killer pass, when really to build confidence within your attack, you must link passes to feel you're on top of the game. And so too often tonight, where we did a good job defending or we stole some balls, we try to hit a killer pass and now we're defending again. And so I think those 3 things will be, the most critical. And the other part is you're not going to get too many chances on the road. I thought there was quite a few, in particular in the first half with Chang and Elijah, where we could have done better. I think in the second half with Ando in a 3v2, and those are things that we work on incessantly, and not be able to execute in those moments. I think is a bit disappointing, but again, I think the guys gave everything, so those are the aspects of the game tonight that we'll take away.
Gotcha. Diego Luna created some pretty good attacking chances. He looked solid when he came in the second half. What does he have to do in your eyes going forward to get some more minutes?
Well, again, I think it's about the collective, right? I think it's more about what we need to do as a team, and not necessarily an individual. Because again, we don't win games when a player shows well. We win games when the team plays well. And so, we'll have a look at the tape, and again, we'll start planning for next weekend.
Gotcha. And then lastly, Beavers playing in this game, McMath in last game. Neither of those games the result that we're looking for. Is there a starting keeper for this team? Is that position still up for grabs?
I think that's what we're trying to sift through, right? And figure out where we need to go moving forward. Obviously with Gavin, lack of experience in the MLS, you know that there's going to be a bit of time. But given that we had conceded so many goals, I felt like it was an opportunity to make a change. And so, I think the game at this level is quite fast, and it's going to take some time for him to get his feet under him a little bit and understand the speed of the game and that. So, at this moment, we'll just we'll say that we have 3 good goalkeepers, and we'll figure out how to put them in the best position to succeed.
Okay, thank you, Pablo.
All right, Alex Anopoulos, your line's open.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Pablo, Alex from the RSL show here. Last week when we were in the conference, you mentioned goal scoring needed to be one of the most important things that this team needed to focus on. You guys came out with a much different attacking look. A lot of new players in the attack. How do you feel that kind of new look attack did for you guys tonight?
Well, obviously not well enough, if because we didn't score goals, and I think there was a lot of opportunities to really get in behind this back line. I think too often we didn't exploit the space that was available. But again, I think goal scoring is an art form. It's being where the ball is going to end up and not standing in spaces, and so we're looking at different combinations of forwards. Different setups against different teams to be able to exploit the spaces, to be able to then isolate players and combine higher up the field. So, I think the effort was good. I just don't think that we took our chances well. And at the end of the day, goals change games.
Yeah, and hey, throughout the first 5 games, we didn't really see that kind of partnership of Pablo Ruiz and Brian Ojeda in the midfield. They were really solid last year. How do you think? What do you think about their performance tonight in the midfield as well?
I think we needed to get them on the ball more, in particular the first half. I think they were a bit high and demanding a lot from our central defenders to really make the game. I think in order for us to be successful in the way we want to play, our pivots need to get on the ball much more. I think they did a better job of that in the second half. But again, I think they're the engine room. They're the guys that really link the back line to the front line. And if they're not getting on the ball, it makes it extremely difficult to create a lot of good opportunities.
Looking ahead to Charlotte, you guys are going to be heading into that one consecutive 4-0 losses. Again, I asked you the same question I asked last week. Is there any worry? Is there any concern from you guys in the locker room heading into that game?
No, I mean, I think again, I look at the game from St. Louis, and I thought we did a really good job for 45 minutes, and I think we missed a couple opportunities in the first half, and their goalkeeper came up trumps on one of them right to end that first half, and I sound like a broken record, but if you don't score those goals, you end up putting more pressure on yourself. And so, looking at Charlotte, looking at the way we've conceded goals, we'll look at maybe a different setup, hopefully get a couple guys back from injury, and then make the best decision given the way they play. But I think, again, Monday through Friday, the sessions are very optimistic in the way the guys are moving the ball, the way the guys. But again, when you're in a bad run of form, I think the pressure and the lack of confidence on game day, and we just need a couple guys to step up. We need someone to score a goal, and I think that type of moment will then bring the defense with it. And but I think we have to the first priority is to make sure we're not conceding, along with scoring the first goal or scoring a goal.
Perfect. Thank you, Pablo.
We're going to finish with Alex Maurer. Your line's open.
Pablo, thanks for the time. I'll try to keep it brief. You've talked a lot about the importance of mentality over your time here. And what are you seeing now from the locker room during this spell? And would you say that the mentality is in the right place or in a successful place? No,
obviously not. I think everyone in that locker room are human beings, right? I think athletes are often portrayed as superhuman, but they have families and they have difficulties and they have issues, as we all do, and I think, when you do good things in whatever profession, you gain confidence and you feel like you're 2 inches taller and you can achieve anything. I think when you're in a bad run of form in whatever profession, there's a lot of reflection. And so for me, I think it's really about getting back to that. We got to be dogs, and again, tonight the effort was fantastic. It wasn't from a lack of effort. It was a lack of execution. But the confidence piece plays a big role. And, just get in these moments, you're often looking for a break, right? You're looking for an opportunity, a goal that's scored with a deflection, ball that hits crossbar instead of hitting the back of the net. You're looking for these moments to really hang on to then push the team forward. But as far as the commitment to the work Monday through Friday, it's been fantastic. And so now we just got to parlay that into a good performance that's worthy of 3 points.
And then one of those guys that has, often been, from at least an outward perspective, leading that mentality is Demir. And seeing him on the bench was a little bit surprising to me. Was that fitness related or more of a tactical decision?
Yeah, no, again, tactical decision. We went with 2 out-and-out forwards tonight to again cause a threat in behind, and hopefully get and getting when you're not scoring goals, I think it's incumbent upon us to try to figure out the pairings, the setup that will hopefully bring you that. But Dami's been and still is a fantastic leader. He's great in the locker room and then quality on the field. We knew this process with Dami was going to take some time, and so going through a spell that we're going through, and after a tough defeat, felt like it was the right opportunity to switch it up a little bit. But again, Dami's by no means on the outside looking in. He's the man for this club.
And then just lastly for me, Justin Glad, first ever homegrown to wear the captain's armband in an MLS game. How do you think he did as a leader tonight?
Yeah, he was fantastic. Jay Glad was he does so much for this group. Football wise, leadership wise, and unfortunately, the result I don't think is a reflection of the way he leads or the way he plays. He's just a standout young man with great potential, and I think he'll be a guy that can potentially be wearing this armband for many years.